Taiwan, I'm Erika Liu with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. The newly completed Taipei Dome has opened its doors to the public with a baseball game attended by a crowd of 13,000 people. Leslie Liao was one of them.
"13,000 baseball fans eagerly watch a game at the Taipei Dome. This has been a moment 30 years in the making. Talks to build a sports dome began back in 1991. Now the venue is finally complete and hosting its first public baseball game. But even as people are let into the dome, concerns have loomed over its usability. Before this public game, the venue staged 2 closed-door games to test it out. One coach pointed out a potential safety hazard.
他那个铁柱子离选手太近，怕如果选手去接外球，有可能会撞到那个柱子。
Those metal posts hold up nets that prevent hard-hit balls from hitting spectators in the seats. But there's also concern that players in the field can run into them and get injured. Baseball enthusiasts also have misgivings about the overall color scheme. The dome seats are black and white, and there's concern that fielders might lose sight of fly balls among the similarly colored seats. And for balls that are hit higher up in the air, well, the checkered roof and bright lights of the dome might also be a problem. But it seems that after the game, players, coaches, and experts alike seem to agree the dome's seats and lights are not a deal breaker.
可能观众坐了以后，就座椅的问题应该就解决了。昨天练习跟今天比赛看起来都大家说还 OK， 并没有会被吃掉的感觉。
其实现在也是可以接受，只是说如果未来有办法去上一点颜色，我觉得就是同一个颜色可能会比较好。我们选手可能看球是什么话会比较不被影响到。
A lot of times when we go to a new stadium and new venue, we got to play a few more games to get used to it.
The game here is a trial run to test not just the baseball field, but also fan facilities. While 13,000 fans came in this time, the building can seat up to 40,000. That's double the capacity of New York's Madison Square Garden. The building occupies a busy part of Taipei, and the crowds leaving the venue after major events might be an issue. Taipei Mayor Jiang Wan'an arrived early on the day to make sure capacity and crowd control measures were in place.
其实来到大巨蛋这边搭乘捷运以及公共运输工具是非常的方便，所以这个部分我们也希望在观赏完比赛之后的离场，大家也能够依照我们相关人员的导引。
The subway station closest to Taipei Dome was all hands on deck hours ahead of the game to prepare for big crowds. But there were no major snags vacating the venue as spectators started leaving early before the game finished. After 3 decades of waiting, the public finally got a chance to experience Taipei Dome. Though more time will be needed to fully iron out its wrinkles, it seems that fans, city officials, and venue organizers can breathe easy knowing its debut so far has covered all the bases. Patrick Chen and Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan saw a 20-year high in new vehicle registrations between January and September this year. That's despite a government push to get people to take public transport. Over 300,000 new passenger vehicles were registered in the first 9 months of the year. That's as the rate of public transportation use has gone down. Local scholars say people choose cars for their convenience and relatively low costs. They suggest the government raise highway tolls and limit available free parking to get people to use more public transit. Scientists have teamed up with volunteers to record noise pollution around Taiwan's capital. As Laurel Stewart explains, they created a map to help residents find some peace and quiet.
Searching for silence, or at least the sounds of nature. Scientists from Taiwan's Academia Sinica have teamed up with a local NGO to monitor sound levels around Taipei. They collected data to build an interactive soundscape map, showing people where they can go to escape the hustle and bustle of the city. Fan Chinhui has been recording natural sounds in Taiwan for more than 20 years. She says when people take the time to stop and listen, they can hear wildlife all around.
像我们现在听到的，像那种鸟就是白头翁，然后偶尔你会听到像绿袖燕，然后 松鼠。
The volunteers, known as peace trackers, travel around the city in search of places with sound levels lower than 55 decibels. It's a threshold recommended by the World Health Organization for residential areas, as excessive exposure to noise can increase the risk of depression, high blood pressure, and high blood sugar. And although Taipei's noise levels are not much higher than the typical European city, its sheer density means there are fewer places people can go to escape. One peace tracker, Chan Jiaming, says the places like the riverside, temples and parks are a good start.
让我比较惊讶的是，像我们平常都会坐的捷运，已经习惯它的音量大小。但其实测量起来，它其实一直在侵害我们的耳朵，它的分贝其实都有到80-90以上。
The volunteers loaded the data they collected onto an app to create a map that visualizes the noise levels around Taipei.
这张地图上面啊，大概有180个点位，所以红色部分就是大于55分贝，蓝色就是小于55分贝哈。
And on top of the volunteers' data, the scientists have developed a sound box that processes real-time sound data to create a 3D map of Taipei. The map changes depending on altitude and time of day.
那上面的噪音盒子，这个所谓声音盒子的 soundbox 的部分，是我们新开发出来的哈。好，所以我们现在其实可以每1个小时可以产制1张所谓的台北市的3维噪音地图哈。
When the researchers first started the sound map last year, they found 3 in 10 Taipei residents lived in red zones. They say it's helping find the source and solutions to excessive and consistent noise. But for those who can't wait for those solutions, the map can show the way to the city's most peaceful places. Joseph Wu and Laurel Stewart for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan is home to nearly 320,000 people with dementia, and that number is expected to grow. To help this often overlooked group of people, the government is trying to break stereotypes and get those who can still work back into the workforce. Philip Broussard has the details.
Diligently loading bags of towels, this is 50-year-old Ada. As recently as 2022, he was still working as a manager of a tech company. But after 2 decades of service, he began forgetting things and becoming more and more depressed. Eventually, he was forced to leave his job. In March this year, he was diagnosed with mild dementia. However, that did not stop him from finding work, with the help of a job center in Taiwan. In September, Ada began a new job at a towel factory.
就该就来这里看过，看过不还有些这个我要还，自己看了要走开头了，我回去主动做不了哈，别办了。
Ada is satisfied with his new job, but to get it, the job center had to train him first. In 2021, Taiwan's labor ministry began a program to get people with dementia back into the workforce.
许多人以为失智以后就没有办法再工作了哈，那其实我们轻度的失智者，只要经过认知功能治疗或训练，还是可以持续在职场上发挥所长。那适当的继续工作，也有助于延缓病程的退化。
Government statistics show there are nearly 320,000 people with dementia living in Taiwan. That's just over 1% of the population, and that percentage is expected to grow. Hopefully, with the help of experts and programs like this, people with dementia will be equipped to head back to work and fight the stereotypes surrounding the disease. Yisun Chen, Sandy Chi, and Philip Broussard for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Before we go, take a look at these hot air balloons taking to the air in Mexico. I'm Erika Liu. Take care and see you next time.